another bucket or another bottle I know I have of part A to fill up to the line that I need. Make sure you measure on a nice flat surface too. When you read up on this product, you will notice one of the three main things that they cite as mistakes you can make is inaccurately mixing this stuff 1-to-1. And so when you're mixing in small batches, you can find just about any little cup or measuring device, throwaway plastic pots from your hardware store. They all measure up to, say, a few cups or so. But when in big situations, it becomes a little bit more challenging because the measuring devices aren't necessarily the caliber that you might want. So what we did prior to this was we actually used water, and we filled each of these buckets up with the same half-gallon water and checked and marked specifically where they'd be. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the timer because I'm about to quickly pour part A into part B, which is again a manufacturer's recommendation. So we're going to start with Jen's and get her mixing, and then we're going to start the clock. And remember, this is super viscous, so it requires me doing a whole bunch of scraping and stuff to get this going. Here we go. Now it's really important when you're the guy doing part A, you got to really scrape this bucket, because if you don't, you're going to be off. I probably have scraped out, I don't know, a good cup or so already, and there's still more. So now that I've got Jen going, I'm going to start the timer because she's already been mixing about 30 seconds. She's going to be 30 seconds out in front of me as I start to do my mix. Yeah, I gotta get a drink, Cole. Hold on.
I'm looking at this fridge.
There's
In the bottom shelf. In the drawer. In the water. Favorite book. The drawer.
Cole, you have to watch your game now, buddy, for the rest of the time.
I can't.
Don't spill the rest of your drink. Cole, you gotta get out now for the rest of the time. Now, I'll point out the first pour we did, I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but running in the background sounds like a fan. And what it is it's a kind of an air pusher for the boiler system heater in here. So there's no forced air. It's a pretty ideal situation because you're not getting, contaminants from the rest of this building potentially coming through here and landing on your project. The downside is you don't want to be blown directly on it because the first time we mixed in a we mixed in a spot over there where the louvers were kind of pointed right at it, and it was actually kind of crazy. It was blowing bubbles. Sit down and watch your game now. Listen to me. Listen to me. Watch your game. Don't mess up the floor. Just watch. So we actually had bubbles coming out of our batch as we were mixing because the air was coming down in, and it was actually causing small tiny little air bubbles to come up out of the epoxy as you mix. We didn't see that as much in the second pour because we kind of moved. Actually, we moved the wrong way. We moved closer in, and we started getting bubbles yesterday coming out much earlier. And that's when we adjusted where we were stirring. That's why we're not stirring directly under that. You're at 2.5 minutes, Jen. No, you're almost halfway there. You got to stir for 5 minutes. Huh? After 5 minutes, we're good. I can come around with the electric mixer. Why don't we trade? That's what we're going to do. I'm going to use the electric. I need to leave for a couple minutes, for a minute or two. I'm going to use the drill mixer now for a minute or so on each of these. Again, read when you do use this product, really read the instructions, and watch some other videos. I can tell you that, what? I can tell you that, like, they tell you, I keep the drill on low, they don't want excess whipping. This stuff does make a lot of bubbles when you're mixing at this stage. It does say don't be alarmed. You're going to have bubbles, and you'll see later in the video how we get them out of the project. You really want to follow these instructions though. They say 5 minutes. And again, we got the timer. We're at 420 with this one, and we're at about 320 with that one. So I'm going to let Jen hand complete this one. Put the other one on the floor for me, would you? And then we're going to combine these into a clean bucket at 5 to 6 minutes, and mix them then together in a perfectly clean bucket for another 3 minutes. They don't want this stuff in the bucket for more than 10 minutes. It'll start popping, cracking, and even smoking. So you're really under the gun at this point. You gotta nail it. And they don't really state this, but I think why they want you in a clean bucket is because there's anything that wasn't scraped off the sides, it is game to contaminate your pour.